What's going on, everybody? Today, we're going to be talking about utilizing your tax refund and or VA disability back pay to put yourself in a better financial picture. Now, this is going to be both from an overall perspective and from a lending perspective because they may be a slightly different depending on what you're trying to accomplish. My name is David Piatek. I am a loan officer able to help you utilize that amazing VA home loan. You can schedule a call with me and my team down in the description below and gain all this knowledge that you watch in your own individual transaction. So, right now, on average, people are getting a refund of about $3,400, which is up 11% from last year, which is very positive. And then from a VA disability back pay perspective, that can vary widely. Sometimes it's a couple thousand. And I think the most I've seen was close to $500,000 in back pay. That was crazy. But I was happy for that veteran because they finally got what they deserved and they were able to buy a home with that money. So that is pretty cool. So from a financial perspective and using the VA home loan, right? Understanding your debt and how much debt you have and how it's structured is really going to be the first part because it's going to lead into all these different things that you can do. So if you're interested in utilizing your V loan, again, schedule a call. We're happy to assist you, especially if it's early on in that process. Um, what happens sometimes is people may have high interest debt that they have, and they also have money in the bank, right? And so sometimes it's nice when you have money sitting in your bank account, but at the same time, if you're paying high interest on credit cards, you may want to rethink what that strategy looks like so you're not paying, a couple $100 a month in additional interest just to hold a balance on something. It helps you both from the credit side, right? Your credit score. So if you lower your utilization rate, it helps you gain a higher credit score. This also allows you to budget better, right? Because now you understand how much money is coming in, how much money is going out, which again is very relative to the process. So a couple things that it's going to affect it from the home loan side, which is going to be your debt to income ratio. And even if you're not buying a home, a lot of times you still should know where your financial picture is and where you spend money because it's going to help you, again, budget better. The better you budget, the better your credit is. The better your credit is, the more options open up to you as a consumer to get the cheapest money that's out there. And maybe even if you have to transfer balances from one credit card to another, you may have like a 20 plus interest rate on one, but if you have good credit, you might be able to get a 12 to 24-month zero interest credit card to kind of help offset that and save money and pay down debt faster. So there's a couple methods that you can use, okay? So the first one I want to talk about is going to be the avalanche method. Now, this is where you make the minimum payments on pretty much all your debt and you take the extra money on the highest interest first, right? So it's a strategy that makes sense because you want to be able to pay the least amount of interest possible on any of your credit, right? And it puts you in a good spot, especially if you have time to purchase a property or just time in general, right? Because you're not looking to buy anytime soon, but you want to get yourself in a better financial position. This strategy overall, I like the most because, again, if you have zero interest credit cards and you have 20+% interest credit cards, you want to pay off the higher interest credit cards first. Now, another method is the opposite of that, which is the snowball method. And this method can make sense as well, but it's really up to each individual person on what they want to be able to do. So, one of the things with the snowball method, similar, right? You make all of your minimum payments on all your credit cards, but you tackle the smallest credit cards first to free up cash to pay off higher interest credit cards, right? So, that's a strategy. Now, if you're utilizing, when you're looking at your debt load, and if you're utilizing things like a tax refund or let's say back pay from the military, from like VA disability compensation, it might be kind of a dual-headed thing that you're trying to accomplish, right? Because you may get a lump sum of cash where it makes sense to pay off, let's say, a couple $1,000s worth of these small credit card bills. So you free up all those minimum monthly payments to in order to make higher payments on other debt. Now, one thing that we've talked about on this channel forever now is car loans, okay? Car loans are massive in the sense of qualifying for a VA home loan. Okay, and actually in general for anything, they're kind of like the craziest part. Um, so right now I'm going to talk about the mortgage strategy, right? Like what a lender's looking at and what you should potentially consider. So for every $600 on average, it equates to about $100,000 of purchasing power, right? So if normally families may have two cars, so let's say $1,200, that's $200,000 worth of purchasing power. So a strategy may be, depending on the length of time that you're looking at and how much you receive in a lump sum, if that's an option. You may want to tackle these high payments first because let's say you have a couple small credit cards, but then you have a $600 car payment with $6,000 left on it. Let's just, for example. And these other ones are really small bills. They're like $1,200, $1,500 credit cards. If you pay off the larger debt, right? One, you eliminate that car interest, right? So that's an important piece. The flip side, then you could take that $600 that you were making on that, and then aggressively pay off your credit cards in a short period of time. Now, for some folks, you may have really low interest credit car loan, so you might want to keep that, right? But then aggressively pay off that credit card and maybe installment loans. Now, when it comes to a mortgage specifically, okay, sometimes, because this happens, it's not very intuitive on what a lender is looking for. So hopefully, I'm just going to kind of give you a general sense of what a lender is looking for, right? So in general, right, a VA loan is tied to residual income and debt to income ratio, but primarily residual income as a whole for the VA loan. Now, I've done tons of videos on it. Quick recap on residual income. It's the how much you make minus taxes, right? Like your state, federal, Social Security, your net income minus your monthly liability payments on your credit report, how much the new mortgage payment's going to be, plus 14 cents per square foot. And then depending on where you live and family size, all of that kind of gets factored in. So from a loan perspective, we may be looking at it because oftentimes this happens. And then we'll be like, you know what? We can pay off this debt and this debt in order to be able to make what you're trying to accomplish happen, right? And it's an important thing to understand because you may be thinking, well, I need to pay off the highest debt. And that may be, again, your lowest interest debt. So it might not make sense, right? We might look at it and go, well, a better strategy would be to pay off these smaller credit card bills. So that way you free up the most interest, like you pay off the highest interest first. But sometimes it doesn't work that way, right? And the reason why is that you may have smaller debt that has really high interest rates that may offset that you may not have enough offset for that, right? So a lender may then tell you pay off something else or pay off the highest interest debt first, but it's going to be based on what the monthly payment is, right? So it's not the total balance that a lender is looking at from a qualification perspective. It's from a monthly payment perspective, right? So this is why, again, if you have a lot of credit cards, it's going to take, you have to put a list together of what the interest rate is on these credit cards. You have promotion rates. Are we trying to get credit utilization down, right? Because, hey, we're a year out from buying. You may have a credit score of like, let's say 640, but you have good credit history, right? So no collections, no lates, but it's utilization that's keeping your credit score down. And remember, from a housing perspective, on almost any loan program that's out there, to my knowledge, okay, this is my knowledge piece on that. The lower your credit, the higher your interest rate is, right? So the higher your interest rate is, especially on a couple $100,000, people, that changes what your payment is sometimes by a lot, right? If you have a 1% difference in interest rate on $500,000, that's like over $250 a month, right? So a strategy may change to say, well, hey, we're really focused in on buying a property. Let's focus on paying down and our utilization rate so we can increase our credit score to get the best financing terms possible. Now, a side note to all this, which is also super relevant, is that you still have closing costs when you're using a VA loan, right? So just because you may be service connected and the VA loan is 100% financing, you still have to pay third party closing costs. And that escapes a lot of veterans when they're purchasing a property. So you also kind of have to put that in hand to say, well, if I'm buying a place and I need to pay down some debt, I kind of need to dual save, or when the next tax refund comes, then you be able to save that knowing ahead of time what that strategy is. Same thing, if you may already have VA disability compensation, but you're also thinking like, well, I'm going to go for an increase. Now, another hidden treasure of revenue sources is going to school, right? So if you collect a BAH because you haven't, let's say, utilized your full GI Bill to get a certificate or go back to school, you're trying to change your life in some way. Then you can take that money you're receiving because you're still working full time, let's say, for example, and you might be getting VA disability, and then take that money and set it aside or use that money to aggressively pay off debt. It is a strategy that you can use. And I just frankly don't hear many people talking about that. So I know we covered a lot in the video. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have used any of these strategies. Have they worked? Did you have to tweak it midway through? Because sometimes it happens, right? Life events happen and you have to adjust your budget or what you're trying to accomplish. Make sure you guys share this with the veteran community. Hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.